Welcome, viewers, to the Preaching Humanist with David Oliverio, that is I, where no God is required for a life of love, joy, peace, fulfillment, meaning, and purpose in life. And the good life is one guided by reason and motivated by love. Today, let's discuss a statement of secular humanist principles. This will be part one, and of course, part two is following. Principle is a fundamental truth or proposition that serves as the foundation for a system of belief. So let's talk about these statements and principles of secular humanism, offering believers out there an alternative, a healthy alternative to religion. So part one. Number one, we as secular humanists deplore efforts to denigrate and degrade human intelligence. And that's one of my pet peeves. Religion says, and let me quote a couple of scriptures from the Bible, as the heavens are above the earth, so are God's ways above humans' ways, and how his thoughts are far above human thoughts. Colossians chapter 2, the Apostle Paul says, beware lest any person spoil you through philosophy of man, rudimentary principles of man, and the minds of man. In other words, avoid it. So we do deplore those efforts to denigrate human intelligence. I love Carl Sagan. He was a great guy, great man, a very intelligent freethinker. One of his quotes was, "For many, God is when you sweep away all the challenges to your intelligence and all the mysteries of the world. You simply turn off your mind and say, God did it." So we as secular humanists are pro-human. We believe in the enlightened human mind that progresses us. What brought our species out of those dark Middle Ages? Well, we know that that's when Christianity once ruled the world. The enlightened human mind brought us into modern civility, and I'm thankful for that. Number two, we as secular humanists believe that scientific discovery and technology contributes to the betterment of human life. We discussed that a few weeks ago in last episode, how we believe that the scientific method is the best method we have in the year 2016 to determine a truth from a falsity. You can't determine truth, which is an agreement with fact, an agreement with reality, by faith. Faith is not an arbiter of truth. It's not a tool for discerning truth. It's a tool for allowing people to accept falsehoods. So we do use and believe that the scientific method is the best way to contribute to the betterment of society and human life. Number three, we are committed to the principles of the separation of state and church. We stand strong for human rights, individual rights, and keeping religion out of government. We've discussed the First Amendment. We've discussed the first clause. We also discussed all that we find in the Constitution, that the Constitution shall be the supreme law of the land, not the Bible, not the Quran, not any other tenet of faith, but the Constitution. The Constitution mentions nothing about a Christian God, a God of Islam, anything religious. So we, the people, the Constitution. So we like to keep and believe in keeping religion out of politics and government. Number four, we, secular humanists, are concerned with justice and fairness in society and with eliminating discrimination and intolerance. Let's discuss discrimination. I got to use a beautiful personal anecdote, a personal testimony. I love to give testimonies to Christians. I tell them my life is better now and happier and more and filled with greater love and compassion for others since I let go of God belief. It's very bewildering to believers. A few years ago, I like to call this BC, before Christine. I met this lady. I was out hiking. I like to do what I call my urban hikes and my nature hikes. So this was an urban hike. I had my backpack on. I'd take off for 8 to 10 to 11 or 12 miles and just go through the city and talk with people. I met this woman. We began talking. We seemed to click. So make a long story short here. We met for coffee a few times. We never discussed the God thing. We seemed to be getting along fairly well. And we planned our first date at this nice restaurant. Well, we met at the restaurant and we had great dialogue, getting to know each other. Here she was telling me all these nice things that she believed about me as a person. Well, that was her opinion, of course. And then she dropped the question. The bomb hit me. I was expecting it because most people would ask me this, and they have in the past. She asked me about my relationship with God. Was I religious? Did I believe in God? Keep in mind that she already set me up here on a pedestal prior to this question. She asked me the question. I could have lied. I could have told her I was a Christian just to go out with her. I had to be honest and scrupulous. So she asked me, and I went and told her that I was an atheist. I failed to mention that this woman was an attorney working for the Catholic Church here in Austin. She was very religious. Once I told her I was an atheist. I gave her the big A-bomb, the atheist word, which I do quite often when I talk to people. Well, I fell from grace. I dropped from about a 9.9 on a scale of 1 to 10 in her estimation, all the way down to a 0. I fell from grace. She didn't want anything to do with me after that. She would never date me. She didn't want me to call her, and that was it. Well, I would call that discrimination and intolerance. I was not judged by my character, by this woman. I was judged by whether I believed in her God or not. So we are concerned with eliminating all kinds of discrimination and intolerance. Number 5, we want to protect and enhance the earth to preserve it for future generations. This is very, very important. And we do support and believe in climate change. Oh, yes, we do believe in climate change and global warming. Why is that? Well, it's overwhelming evidence by most scientists that think, that test things. So we do believe in climate change and we do fight against it. Another example, I was talking with a lady not too long ago, an older woman, who was a retired Pentecostal preacher, kind of from my background, and yes, a woman preacher. I was explaining to her about climate change and how real it is. She told me, "Oh, David, why are you worried about that? I believe," and this is what she said, and which many Christians tell me. She said, "I believe when Jesus returns, he will fix this earth because he will establish his kingdom here. And the pollution that we have caused as a species, all the carbon, all the pollution that we've caused, it doesn't matter because Jesus will repair it and fix it." Well, that's not the attitude to take. We want to protect and enhance this earth for many generations to come. Number 6, we secular humanists believe in enjoying life. Yeah, having enjoyment here and now in this world. Why? Well, number 1, we don't believe in a life after this death. There's no evidence for that. There's no evidence for immortality. I know it's hard for believers to understand this. As I talk to them all the time, it's hard to understand that we can be happy, we who are atheists and secularists and humanists, to have a wonderful life and to take pleasure in our life. Now, some would call that hedonism. Hedonism is pursuing pleasures. Now, there are different types of pleasures. There are the developed pleasures and the undeveloped pleasures. They're both good. We got to find that balance between the two. And we like to develop our creative talents to their fullest. When we find our abilities, when we as secular humanists find what we are good at in life, especially the things that enhance humanity, that help other people to make this world better, that's what we like to develop using our creativity and our mind. And that is a good way to find purpose and meaning in life. These were the top six fundamental truths that we have in Principles of Secular Humanism, Part 1. If you like what you heard today, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for Part 2. Have a wonderful day.